Hi Moonies, welcome to the Sailor Moon Fan Club podcast. I'm your host, Victoria L. Johnson, and I'm here with the amazing voice actor Zeno Robinson, aka Childish Gambino. He's the voice for Hawks in My Hero Academia, Ezekiel in Carol and Tuesday, Prince Kelby in Cannon Busters, Cyborg in Young Justice, Go in Pokemon Journeys, the series, and so much more. Super excited to have him on the show. Thank you for being here. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm super excited to have you here. Thank you again for agreeing to be on the Sailor Moon Fan Club podcast.
No. Again, thanks. I'm appreciative that you even thought to reach out to me of all people and have me on here. So I'm grateful.
Yeah, of course. So the first question I like to ask everyone is what their first memory of watching Sailor Moon is.
My first memory of watching Sailor Moon is it probably. I've been having this debate with myself if it's the first anime I've ever watched, but like my dad used to take me to Blockbuster, and I would always pick the same two, because I'm a man of habit, so I'd always pick the same two VHSs, which was Sailor Moon and the Sonic cartoon. Specifically, the episode where he races against Metal Sonic. Yeah, I don't remember which episode of Sailor Moon I always got, but I'd always get those two. It would be Sailor Moon and that. So that's my earliest memory, is going to Blockbuster and getting that Sailor Moon VHS to bring home.
That's cool. Was it the one with like the glittery outline? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't think so, because I remember them all being in like the Blockbuster cases.
Oh, right, that's true. They did like swap them out and put it in that like white and blue.
Yeah,
I forgot about that. So actually, we used to go to Blockbuster, but then we started going to Hollywood Video, and I think they actually had like the
little glitter, everything in its original case.
Yeah, I think so. I might be remembering wrong. I know the video games were. I might be remembering all wrong. I don't know. It's been years. But that's cool. Yeah, Sonic is iconic too, so I can totally see why those would be your go-to. Especially like then, I feel like you could always go back to it and like it would still be so good. I know for me, I used to always rent the Disney had like episodes of like The Little Mermaid, the show, and they had like Aladdin, the TV series, for a bit, and there were like these little episodes you could watch. So I would go back for those a lot too. So that's no judgment. What did you feel? What were you thinking as you were watching Sailor Moon?
Like for the first time, like back then?
Yeah, or even now, like how do you feel about it?
I'm not sure. Like I feel like back then I just thought they were so cool. Like I just thought they were just they were just this group of girls who when they transformed, they just got stuff done. They had these cool transformation sequences that I just thought were like the coolest thing ever. Like I think looking back now, like it's like an example of like how like characters can also be like strong and kick butt without having to fit into like the archetypes that usually accompany those things.
Yeah, I think that's definitely one of the highlights for it. Another thing I realized recently in Sailor Moon that I think may have drawn me to it is that the characters eat, and they aren't afraid to eat, which I love.
That's so true. Yeah. I don't think I love like food and anime. Like everybody's always eating, and they always just eat, and that's like a thing. Like that's some people's character traits. Like that's their attributes. Like you're an eater. Like all you do is sit around and eat, and you don't gain any weight. I don't know if like any other like medium like kind of does that like that.
That's so true, because I know like there's a lot of like Hayao Miyazaki movies I watch, and the food just makes me so hungry.
I know. I don't know what it is about animated food that looks so delicious. I think
good.
I was watching something. It might have been like Haikyuu or something, but there was like curry, and I was like, man, I would love some curry right now. Oh no! I was watching Dorohedoro, and she owns like a gyoza shop, so she's always making gyoza, Nikaido, and I'm like, that she makes gyoza like mad delicious. Like I want some gyoza now.
Yeah. Every time I watch Naruto, I always crave ramen.
Yeah, right.
I'm just like, yeah. And then, did you have a Sailor Scout or Senshi that you liked or you thought was like the best?
I'm trying to remember, because it's been a really long time since I watched Sailor Moon. I think it might be Mercury though, and I remember because my favorite Sailor Scout is the one she transformed, and she does this really cool things with her fingers, and she like lifts them up, but they kind of shake a little bit. Like that's how attentive to detail I was as a kid. But whatever movement she made, I think her powers were fire. But whatever that was, I was like, yo, that's so cool how she does that thing with her hands, and it moves, and I don't know, it just looked really cool, and I was like, that's my favorite.
I think I know, yeah.
I remember being a fan of Tuxedo Mask too. I don't know if that was just because like I was a boy and he was like the only like noticeable boy or male character in the show that I like latched onto as a kid, but like, or I guess maybe the despair, like the I don't want to say disparity because it sounds like a negative word, but you know like there's like, you know, there's like, I don't know, like 7 or 8 like central women characters, and then like one guy, and like you could just, it's a glaringly elephant in the room. So I was like, oh, who's that guy? He's the only guy. He's cool.
No, I totally get that, because I think for the opposite, there's been times where I've been like, oh, this is the only girl, so clearly that's the person I'm gonna be.
Right, that's the person I have to attach myself to. Yeah.
Right.
Like black people. Oh, that's the black person? Cool. They have to be my favorite.
Exactly. That's the person I'll be rooting for.
Right.
Villain or hero.
Does not matter.
Yeah. Exactly. And then I think you're talking about Sailor Mars, and I'm wondering if she holds like a I guess it's either like a charm or like a curse, like a piece of paper, and it kind of waves, and I'm wondering if that's like the motion you're thinking of.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It might be Mars.
Yeah. I mean, she's definitely the only fire person, but that hand movement makes me wonder. I'm like, that could be a few people, but I feel like it might be Mars, because that's definitely like stand out.
Yeah, I love that, and I was like, that one's cool. I like that one.
She is awesome. And then how'd you get into voice acting?
So I got into it. I was always into acting, and I took a program that allowed me to like train in, you know, commercials and stage and just all like the kind of facets into being an actor. And it allowed me to audition in front of my agents, who then sent me out on my first voiceover auditions. The first one of those that I booked being Ben 10, Alien Force. Back then it was called Ben 10 Hero Generation. And I had no idea because I didn't have cable or anything, so I didn't know like what any of these projects were. But that's how I got into it, like a very condensed version of. It fairly describes it, but it's pretty much it. That's pretty much it.
That's interesting, like not having cable and like auditioning for like these shows that are super popular, but you're just like, I got this job.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we got cable after I booked it, so we could watch it, you know. But like that was the catalyst to us as a household getting cable. Otherwise, like, you know, we would be like, Mom, can we get cable? Like, I want to watch Cartoon Network, and she'd be like, no.
You know? So you too were a PBS kid?
I too was a PBS kid.
PBS is awesome.
Yeah.
And so, and how did you? So I mean, years later, you landed the role of Hawks in My Hero Academia. How did that come about?
So I was referred to by Brittany Lauda over in Texas, who I believe before that we were acquainted because we were in our friend Marie's. We were in her thesis art film, like coming out of art school together. We played two of her leads. And this season Rock Lock was coming up, which as what I'm assuming is like the biggest reason, right? She's like, oh, you know, that's got to be properly represented. So I was referred to by Brittany, but also my agents were in communication with Funimation to get opportunities from them to some actors that I'm with. I mean, to some actors also in my agency.
Right.
And so like I got sent the auditions through the director reached out to me, and I got sent the packet, and I auditioned and sent that off with my agent, and yeah, that's how I booked Sakaki. And then I did the episode with Sakaki with Colleen, and after that she was I say a lot, don't I? I'm noticing it now.
That's the problem with podcasts, you notice all the things,
right? All your little ticks and so after that she wanted to audition me for someone else. She was like, oh, you know, it was great, we worked together, and I don't know, for both of us it was like, this is too short, this didn't, you know. So she was like, I'm still casting this character, I'd like you to audition too. So she gave me the audition for Hawks. I took it home, I stressed about it for 3 days, and then I sent it over.
Yeah. That sounds about right. Yeah. For everything I do too.
Stressed about it, I gave it to God and sent it over.
Right. Did the obligatory 3-day stress. All right. Cool. Good. Yeah, and I love too, like, he's gotten so much shine in season 2 and then Heroes Rising. It's been awesome just to like see all that.
Well, I think the most amazing thing is that how attached like fans are to him, given his limited time in the spotlight. You know, like, I mean, you know, fans who read the manga were already like in love with him by the time he showed up in the movie, and then he showed up in the movie, and I think it just brought on this whole new crowd of people who like were curious about him and who could grow to like him. And you know, and now he's appeared in the anime, and he's in a very, very bold way that's probably hopefully made like more people just be interested in him as a character. And it's fascinating, like how even through his limited exposure, like he's already garnered such an incredibly dedicated and passionate fan base.
Yeah, I think bold is such the right word. Like, he made such a bold impact, especially in the end of season 2. But yeah, and then I saw too, like, you talking about fans. I think one fan drew Hawks as you, and I thought that was really cool.
That's so cool. I love that. I love that stuff. With that stuff, what that all is for me is it's all that's what representation is about. Like, that's what reflection is about. It's about seeing yourself into characters that you attach yourself to, or seeing yourself in characters that align morally to you, or that whose morals that you want to embody more in your own life. You know, and it can be anybody. You know, what that kind of stuff says to me is like anybody. It's kind of like the Spider-Man complex. Anybody can wear the mask. Like, anybody can be the hero. Why not? You know, why couldn't it be?
Yeah, it was cool, and I thought it was really cool. You made it your profile picture.
Yeah,
so that's really
yeah. It looked like, you know, he drew it to be me, and I thought that was super cool. So I like that it's like a reflection of, I don't know. I love it. So I asked if I could make it my profile picture.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, I think I would love to see more of that as like voice actors as their characters. And I think we see that enough, and that'd be really fun.
Yeah, I think a lot of us try to sometimes like detach our identities to our characters, because sometimes we don't you know, sometimes the world doesn't want to know you, the person. They you're only linked to them as the character that they love, you know. Right. So they might be disheartened to find that you don't that you're not exactly like that character. You know, you're just a good actor, or you know, sometimes you just want to be known as your own person. You know, sometimes you don't want to be called, you know, Hawks. You don't want to be called Deku. You want to be called Justin. You want to be called Zeno. You know, you want to be called Kellen. Yeah. So I think there's like a difference, I think, there.
That makes sense. I think Will Smith said it. Someone gave him advice to name his character Will, because they're gonna call you that, like, whatever name you name yourself, they're gonna call you that. And like, he walked into some place with Alfonso Ribeiro, and they're like, hey Will, hey Carlton, and it's like yeah. So I could totally see wanting to that like distance, especially like with fans can get out of hand, and you know, you want, you know, you to know, especially like now, another example, like Insecure, like people like do not like Molly on HBO, but the actress is like, I am not Molly. Do not like email me angry messages.
Don't hate me.
Right.
I'm playing a character.
Yeah. Please support my HBO comedy special.
Please. I want a career.
Yeah. I am Yvonne, not Molly. But yeah. So totally get that. But yeah. But you also played Prince Kelby in Cannon Busters. I wanted to ask how that was, because I think that was a really cool moment for, you know, a lot of Black anime fans. And also you, Casey was played by Stephanie Shea, who's Sailor Moon in the Viz Media dub. So I was wondering if you got any time to work with her.
I worked with her because we did all of Cannon Busters at NYAV Post, which is a recording studio, post house here in LA. And Stephanie is a major, if not founding member. But you know, she's usually casting and starring and directing. She's just a force to, a force of talent. That and yeah, so I didn't get to work with her in booth in session, but she was there at all my sessions, supervising or directing, you know, or making sure I had all my paperwork, you know, reminding me not to leave my water bottle, like things like that. Cannon Busters was amazing because not only like the story of how it came about to be in my life, but being a young African American who loves anime and who wants to see themselves as the hero and who wants to be in anime and who you know, who's grew up on it, and you know, it kind of shaped a lot of, you know, my life and my values, and you know, storytelling, how I look at storytelling, but also a medium that isn't always reflective of me naturally, because it comes from Japan, of course, but Japan borrows from our culture a lot. Sometimes they play characters who are dark skinned, they put in black characters sometimes, you know. And not seeing myself properly reflected all the time, it is a little disheartening. So something like Cannon Busters with an all black cast and being kind of one of the first of its nature to do that, given my history with anime and my history with the industry, it was a very gratifying, humbling moment for me. I'm very, very grateful, and I feel incredibly blessed to be able to be a part of that, and even as to be as major of a part of that as I was.
Yeah, it was super cool, and I'm happy you guys got to work together. Yeah, I forgot she also helped direct it, or directed the I think the English version.
It was, Michael directed us, Central Nicholas, but she was like there. She helped as well. Got it.
Okay. Yeah, I know. Okay, yeah. She was on a previous episode. I'm trying to like remember everything, but yeah, that's cool. And then you also, like, speaking of like seeing yourself reflected, like to play Ezekiel in Care on Tuesday, which is another show with a lot of black characters. That was pretty cool too.
Yeah, I wanted to be very, very sure that I or someone of color played Ezekiel. You know, he is clearly he's clearly black, and you know, he clearly has something to say, which actually I think Ezekiel is a very interesting point you bring up, given like the times we're in right now. And like how, you know, he's very against the system. He's very he's very radical in terms of his content, like the art he puts out, and also very intelligent, you know. And I think like he was really, he's a really cool character, and I'm glad that I got to portray him.
Yeah, me too. And so you voice obviously a lot of characters, you know, Go in Pokemon, so many. I like went through your list and I was like, I can't include everybody, but what would you say has been the funnest character you've got to play, and also the hardest?
The most fun, probably Sakaki, for My Hero. That's a very obscure answer, but yeah, like I think as far as anime goes, like the most fun has been Sakaki. Like there's something about like the way I had to act as him that allowed me to completely like let go and be free and be wild and be crazy and you know, and just say and do whatever I wanted and how I wanted, and it just lent itself to this fun, playful freedom that I guess is kind of sort of equivalent to being drunk. Yeah, maybe, I don't know. But I think that's that. So when I was performing at, I wasn't stressing about if I'm good enough or if my reads were good enough or any of that. I was just literally having a ball. I was just having so much fun. And what was the second question?
Hardest one.
Hardest one. The hardest one, I think, is Go. Because Go, he exists in a very he exists in a very particular space energetically, right? And I'm trying to figure out how to word it, but like he can't be as simple as me doing my young kid voice. Like he emotionally feels things at a particular level, and he keeps a cap on emotionally where he's at until he doesn't, and the trick to Go is gauging how much to keep the lid on the pressure cooker, when to let the lid off, when to let some steam out, when to, you know what I mean? I think that's where he's the trickiest, is like he's a young kid, but he also is soft, so I have to make sure the softness is in my voice, but he also has all of these like highs and lows, and especially the really high highs. If I do it too high or go for it too much, it betrays his character. So he's very, very tricky. He's not difficult in terms of being fun. I think it's difficult in terms of accurately figuring him out as a character. He's been the most difficult.
Yeah. It seems like you're trying, you have to make sure you're placing emphasis in the right places and like being subtle in other places. It's
a lot about like figuring out how far or how much will he let go of the cool facade, or how vulnerable is he going to let himself be. I think that's probably what Amore is about, is like how vulnerable is he going to let himself be in this moment, whether it's vulnerability emotionally, like softly, or vulnerability in taking the mask off and just going crazy.
Makes sense. Yeah. Is there a character you would love to voice? And you mentioned Sonic before. To see
I definitely would love to play Sonic. I'd love to voice Static someday.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's like the only one of the few like black superheroes left that like still has some room to put in a voice that can be definitive. Like Phil Lamar is probably the definitive. I just love to voice a character that's very definitive for me. Like a superhero. Like Kari Payton is Cyborg. Like there's, like Kevin Conroy is Batman. You just defined a character, and like I feel so maybe Miles I could do that with, but I'm not sure. I'd love to voice a Ninja Turtle.
Ooh, yeah.
I think Mikey would be super fun.
Yes.
And an anime protagonist is kind of my goal. So I'd love to like shonen, like a really cool action.
Yeah.
Young angsty hero.
Yeah. I'm sure it's gonna happen the way your resume is stacking up.
Hope so. Yeah. God willing.
Yeah. And do you have any other favorite anime series that you like to watch?
Right now I'm watching Haikyuu, and I love Haikyuu. I love it so much. I think it's so good, and I never expected myself to like an anime about volleyball.
That's what I hear a lot about it.
And it's not even just like that it's about volleyball, but like in my mind of minds, I was always like, I will never watch a sports anime. Like my anime's gotta have giant swords and explosions if you want me to watch it. Otherwise, robots. Forget about it. It's gotta have robots, exactly. But you know what? There's a black guy Haikyuu. So
there you go. Gotta watch it.
Gotta watch the whole show now. I stand. I was thinking about the other night as I was driving home. I was like, wait, us as black people, we're not hard to please. We really aren't. Just put One. Just put a black person in it, and we will watch it. Especially if it's anime, we will watch the whole thing for this specific character.
Yeah, that is entirely true. There have been animes I've watched where I've watched it because I'm like, oh, there's a black character in here? Okay.
Okay, let me check this out. Let me see check what this is about. That's how I started watching, I think, Magi, right? I saw Sphinxes. I was like, black and inspired by Egypt? Let me watch Magi. See what this is about. Yeah.
I had to warn one of my friends. She was watching Hunter x Hunter, and because she saw Canary, and she's like, "Oh, there's a black character." I was like, "Wait, she's only in like 10 episodes. You should still watch it because it's a great show." Right. But just so you know, she's like not in the entire series. Right. Yeah. Like, don't get your hopes up. But she's still in there. You should still watch like all 100 episodes.
Up pretty much like she shows up. I think in the first season, the second season, and the last season.
Yeah, she plays a pretty prominent role.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just didn't want her to think she was like a main character.
Right.
Interesting. Yeah, but I'm like, but yeah, and I think she's like one of my favorite black anime characters ever. Just like the way they drew her character, like just amazing.
I love her. I love Canary.
Yeah, she's great. Yeah, but yeah, I feel the same way. I'm not a sports anime person, but that Haikyuu is, I think, might break it for me because I keep eyeing it. I'm like, I'm gonna watch this eventually because everyone keeps saying the same things about it. Like, I never thought I'd be interested in a volleyball anime, or I never thought I'd be interested in a sports anime, and they love it. So that's me too. Yeah. And then so this one is a little bit more open, but like, what else do you stand? So like, it's like for me, it's like Beyonce and I guess Insecure, this show.
I stand Donald Glover and anything he puts his hands on. I stand like PlayStation. I stand Sony. PlayStation games. They just come out with some of the best games ever.
Definitely.
Like I don't. Yeah. Like I stand love. I love love.
That's nice. Yeah.
Optimism and empathy. I stand those things.
We need more people who stand those things.
More of that, you know.
Yeah. Always.
Yeah. It's yep.
Yeah.
Stand Kingdom Hearts.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's the first thing I thought of once you said PlayStation.
Yeah. Oh yeah. See, there you are. We're on the same page.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously, you have the Childish Gambino username on Twitter and Instagram, so that makes a lot of sense. And I'm guessing you're an Atlanta fan.
Oh, I love Atlanta.
Yeah.
I'm sad they make us wait so long between seasons because Atlanta is so good.
Yeah, it is so good. Like, yeah,
I'm really mad that it didn't win the Emmy for what episode was that?
Oh, was it Teddy Perkins?
Teddy Perkins.
Yeah.
Robbed.
Me too. That episode was amazing. Like, incredible. It was better than a lot of scary movies I've seen.
Yeah, just what an incredible show. Oh God, I love Atlanta so much.
It is really, really, really good. Just like, yeah, it's a great show. Turn this into the Atlanta fan club podcast. But yeah, I totally get that. Like, especially lately. I mean, I love his work like in Community and stand up, I think Weirdo, but like lately it's been like his music, Stone Mountain and Atlanta. He's just been like on it.
Yeah, like I think he could just focus on something and do it. Like, I read an article about like how his philosophy on like how he adjusts or adapts or picks up a new skill, and he focuses and he just does it for hours until he's good at it. And like, nothing he puts out is going to be the same as the thing before it, right? So like, this new album is kind of like Awaken My Love, but not, you know. He evolves with each project, or he experiments with each project, and I love that. Like, I love that bravery. I love that ability to be that in tune with art and your personal art that you can operate on that level. Yeah, that's so admirable. Like, I wish I could like choose to do something like, all right, I'm gonna like focus on mastering this for the next week. Right,
I'm
and
so
just
all
do
over the
it.
place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same. Like I've been trying to play piano for I don't know how long, and my piano just kind of stays there in the corner, you know.
It's hard, yeah. I think I started learning piano, and the only reason I stuck with it is because Alicia Keys came out, and then like I was gonna quit, and I was like, oh, Alicia Keys, she's cool. I wanna learn this still. But yeah,
It's
but I
interesting how
tried.
that happens too. Like how
Hmm.
people we look up to can influence whether or not we continue to do something, or
Hmm.
influence even whether we do choose to take up doing something. You know.
Yeah, yeah. But then I tried guitar later on, and there was no one who came along. I was like, my hands hurt. That is really cool. Awesome. I like your stand list. It is awesome.
Thank you.
PlayStation.
I wish I had more. I feel like I should have more. I feel like I should stand more thing.
I feel like keeping it, succinct is good. You
Mm.
can only stand so many things. You need your energy.
Right?
Like Beyonce takes a lot already for me
Doesn't it?
to monitor.
The whole beehive.
Yeah, right. So yeah, I gotta like save my money for that and Sailor Moon. but, but
I totally understand.
yeah. And do you have any advice for anyone who wants to get into voice acting?
I always say just remember why you started. Like remember, it's easy to forget why you fell in love with acting in the first place. You know, when you're worried about whether you booked the job or whether your audition was good, or how much you're working, how much you're not working, how much you're getting paid, how much you're not getting paid. If you're union or if you're not union, there's a lot. There's a lot that kind of muddles and murkies the waters of I love acting and it's fun and I don't want to do anything else. So I think like if you're gonna do it, remember why and keep taking classes and keep working on those demos and keep sending them to people, because every art is subjective. What somebody else thinks isn't valuable might be what somebody else thinks that they can that they can work with, that they want to work with. So just hold on to your love for your art and keep working hard at improving it, and I think you'll be fine. Anyone will be fine.
Well, now I need to ask you, why did you fall in love with acting?
There is something about like taking a step out of yourself and being somebody else in another place that attracted me to acting. Playing pretend. I played pretend as a kid all the time, like a lot, like without knowing what it was. Like in like on the playground at recess, me and my friends would pretend to be vampires or pretend to be characters from an anime, and we would just run around and pretend fight and have these pretend stories, and we did it every day, and all the kids thought we were weirdos. Like all of them thought we were just so strange, and I guess like outside looking in we were, but I've always loved doing that. I've always loved feeling. I think I like feeling, and I like emulating different feelings, experiencing those emotions. And I think that's what drew me to acting in the first place. I was getting to play pretend again and emulate these feelings and entertain people.
Yeah, that makes all the sense. Hey. Well, if you ever forget, you can come back and listen to this episode.
To this. Yeah. Thank you. I probably will, honestly. Sometimes it's easy. It really is. You get, even when you're working, when you're not working, like it's easy even when you are working to get caught up in the work, in that you forget the basic core value of why you do it.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I have to write stuff down just to like remember. Like this is why I like this. This is what I do when I'm this way, or it's really helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then so you may or may not remember, but on that Blockbuster video from years ago, there was probably at the end of the Sailor Moon episode, there was most likely the Sailor Moon Says section where she would just kind of like give a PSA at the end of every episode. So what would your like PSA be? So like Sailor Zeno says.
Oh,
I can give you some examples if you want.
Yeah,
from other people.
what's an example?
Okay, hold on. Let me pull it up really quickly. Karen is not a slur. Top 5 lists are stupid. Be yourself for yourself. Don't give up, that is the key. That's from Brandon. Screw the haters, secure the bag. Follow your dreams, believe in yourself, and punch fear in the face always. Believe in yourself again. Wash your hands. Yeah, chill out, have a good time. There's been a few from previous episodes. It's been pretty fun.
Mine would be. Well, do I have to say Sailor Zeno says?
You don't have to. If you want to, though, it'll be fun, but you don't have to.
Sailor Zeno says, you deserve it.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah. I think more people need to hear that.
Yeah. Sailor Zeno says, you deserve it. And with the power of God and anime on your side, nothing is impossible.
Right. And mecha.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And then what's next for you, and where can people find you?
Chronologically right now, next for me is Go. Pokemon Journeys comes out on June 12th. People can find me at Childish Gamzino everywhere. Instagram and Twitter, which is my most active, I guess, social media presences, especially on Twitter, because I'm direct tweeting the LAPD and telling them to please do something about their department. Or actually, I'm direct tweeting them to be like, we're about to get ready, y'all. Defund the police.
You about to lose your job.
Yep. Mm-hmm. That's the move. That's the mood right there. Yeah, I think that's what's next for me. I do have other stuff coming up that I can't talk about, but nobody will probably see it in a while anyway. So yeah.
Awesome. And this episode will come out in August. So if you have anything in August you want to plug.
Ooh, I don't even know. Like that's like how unpredictable our work is. Like the My Hero Academia game dub came out yesterday. I had no idea. The DLC said Hawks is going to come out tomorrow, which would be the 11th of this recording in June. And it came out today. So, I don't know anything. I usually don't know things. So, yeah, but I'm sure there might be something I can announce, hopefully.
Right. Yeah, I actually spoke to an author in another episode her book is getting adapted into a TV series, and I'm like, oh, how's it going? She's like, I don't know what's going on over there. They don't tell me things. I'm just like, okay.
Right, like how am I the one that doesn't know?
Right, it's so funny how that happens. But yeah, that's awesome. Definitely, I guess people, if anything, they can follow you at Childish Gamzino if they want to figure out what's next.
Yeah, what's going on with me.
They'll find out along with you. And of course you can follow me at Miss Old School. It's Old School with a K. And you can follow the podcast at Moonies Club on Instagram and Moonies_Club on I mixed that up. Moonies Club on Twitter, Moonies_Club on Instagram. And thank you again for coming on the show and talking Sailor Moon with me.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, this is fun.